It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. Well, let's talk Eyre Peninsula Netball now, and we go to the Queen of EP Netball, who is standing by once more, Jo Franklin on the line. Hello, Jo. How are you?
I'm doing really well, and you?
I'm going well, thank you.
That's good.
Another
That's good.
busy week in EP Netball, though, by the looks of things.
Absolutely, and it's just crazy. Like, again, we had schoolgirls netball on yesterday. We've got Friday night games happening in Lincoln this week, Saturday normal round matches, Sunday lock. It's just all happening.
Yes, the Lock Carnival coming up on Sunday, and we'll get to that. Let's have a look at Eastern Eyre Netball, though, from last weekend, first of all. And we will start with the Eastern Rangers, who took on Kimber Districts and actually gave them a fair old touch-up. 14 goals is quite a bit between these two teams. 47-33. Eastern Rangers too good.
Yeah, they were. And like you said, 14 goals between these two teams is a fair amount considering the games that they've had of recent years. So, yeah, look, Rangers went in without Amy Allen. Kimber went in without Chelsea Wolford. So both sides missing a fair bit of experience and skill. But the Rangers defenders, particularly Lauren Symes and Jordan Hooper, now, you know, one would nearly be 6 foot and the other one's over 6 foot. So just so much height in there. And they were just able to provide plenty of turnovers for Nicole Symes and Tamika Wren, who are also extremely tall down the other end. And they certainly got their eye in early and shot quite actively throughout the day. Johnny McCullum, Saran Shippard, they worked hard for Kimber through the centre court for most of the game and matched up pretty well through there, really, on Kate Zimick and it was, you know, pretty tight through there. But, yeah, Rangers are just too tall, I think, in the end, really and truly. Their height is to a huge advantage, and they're just too good for Kimber on the day.
Central Eyre United, let's talk about them in the A grade against Ports. My Ports girls put up a fairly good showing. But, Central Eyre United 45-33, so 12 goals to the good for Central Eyre.
And Beth was certainly pretty happy with that win from the Central Eyre United Storm girls. Look, Ruby Green and Courtney Grigg, they battled hard in goals for Ports. And, you know, like 33 goals for Ports is a pretty good effort. There's been times over the last few years where they certainly would have been really, really happy with that. But at the moment, I think they're just wanting to get that first win on the board. Unfortunately, it didn't happen last week, but Central Eyre United certainly have got just a little bit of height in defence that certainly helped them on Saturday. And Keely Bruce is really finding her feet and really helping that Storm side put together some consistency. And Beth is certainly each week happier and happier with the way the Storm girls are coming together and some of the consistent good work that they're putting together. And, yeah, they were certainly too good at Warramboo on Saturday for the Ports team, who keep battling away and, you know, they're not that far off. They're competitive. They're dying to get that win on the board.
It's worth noting too, Central Eyre United clean sweep in the 5 senior grades and won every fixture on the day bar one, and that was the little E2s for Ports, who got up 15-13 in a thriller.
Absolutely, an absolute thriller, and look, just so cute, these little ones. And so it just, you know, Ports have got good numbers down there, so, you know, they're looking forward to those little ones hanging around and coming through and playing seniors for them eventually. And it's just great to see the little ones getting out and having a run around after not being able to do much last year.
This weekend, a couple of very interesting games. First of all, at Kimber, the home side will be licking their wounds after last week. Kimber Districts taking on Cow, who will come up the highway, not without a chance.
No, not without a chance. Look, Kimber are probably able to cover Chelsea Wolford with the fact that they've got a pretty strong B grade as well. So, and Cow will be well aware of that. There's no question about that. But, you know, Cow had bye last week, so they're sort of coming off of a bye. Trying to build some sort of consistency in having a bye doesn't necessarily help, although, having said that, it certainly has helped with some injuries for them. So, you know, it's a bit of a catch-22 there. But, look, they certainly, there's no doubt that the Cowgirls are really working hard at trying to get their themselves together to beat one of these top sides, and they would certainly be going in thinking that they are within range of doing that this week. But you know, Kimber, Jess Clements is so strong in goals, and Shiley Harris just takes command down the other end in defence. Geordie McCullum is playing extremely well through the centre with Saran, and so Cowler just a little bit younger through the centre court. They've got Caitlin and Shannon Jeffries. They've got a little bit of too much youth, should I say? Young, I think they'll struggle. Look, I mean, Emily has certainly been a big help for them in goals, and she's working really hard to get a good combination happening in there. But I think that Kimber probably just a little bit too polished.
This week, Central Eyre United, they will welcome the Eastern Rangers to Kynecutter. Up the highway they'll come. This should be an interesting game too. It'll give us an idea of where Central Eyre United are really at.
Yeah, it actually will. And I think that one of the things here that will be quite interesting is that Abby Bruce will come back into goals for Storm. So that will certainly help them. There's no question about that. And I think that whilst that will give them inject a little bit of height to their goal circle, Eastern Rangers defenders as again Lauren Symes and Jordan Hooper are 6-footers. And trying to get a ball into that goal circle with those two defenders is very difficult. So I think that Central Eyre United might just need a little bit more work before they will be able to necessarily topple over the Eastern Rangers. I think at the moment Eastern Rangers, I wouldn't say they're coasting along, because I know that they're working hard and they take every game extremely seriously, and they will certainly not be taking this game easily. But Central Eyre United will certainly know that what they're up against when they come up against East Rangers, and and even down the other end with the Rangers, like they've got the height in the goal circle. Keely Bruce would match certainly the height in defence for Central United, but I think that Tamika Wren and Nicole Symes are certainly coming together really nicely as a combination in there, and I reckon they'll just be a little bit too polished for Central Eyre United this week.
We move to Great Flinders Netball next. Let's have a look at what happened there last weekend. First of all, Tumby Bay, they took on Lock, and they beat them in the end 39-30. Tight game, but Tumby Bay just a little bit too much polish.
Yeah, in the end, just a little bit of experience when it counted. Certainly 9 goals is not a lot. There was a really close tussle out there between Stacey Curtis and Tanya Habner. It was very, very tight, but young Sarah Laurie in goals, from what I heard for Tumby, was just really on song, and she was shooting from everywhere. And when she's having one of those days, there is absolutely no stopping her. She is amazing when she's on. There's no question about that. Lot girls probably needed to work just a little bit harder at stopping the ball from getting into her. Certainly their coach said that she would want to be working on that, ready for the next time they play them. Jazz Pearce was really good for Lock. She worked hard all game and she got their incentive. And Jazz Rosas from Tumby Bay, she got their incentive award. So, yeah, a very interesting game. And the Lock girls did come away thinking that next time round they may well take Tumby Bay.
All right. Well, the other games, Ramblers 56, United Yolanda 31. So this is about what we would have thought in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, it was. Look, the young United Yolanda side, there's no question that they're working really hard and they're coming together slowly. But Ramblers were just too good. Young Ava Pedler played a full game of A grade last week, and she received the incentive award for Ramblers. Keely was pretty impressed with her, actually, and I'm thinking that she'll probably be there to stay for the rest of the season. Brooke Traeger received the United Yolanda incentive award for her efforts throughout the game, but that game certainly went the way that we expected, Jace.
And for Elliston Districts, hosting at Elliston, a clean sweep on the day for them. Every grade they were victorious in, including a 38-20 win in the A-grade clash.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, Elliston are certainly enjoying their time at with Great Flinders. There's no question about that. Their game, certainly, like they said, the score didn't necessarily indicate the standard of the game. Kate was saying that the Saints girls are really sort of taking it up to some of the other sides, but it's just the experience in the end that tells out. And the Elliston United girls were actually a little bit disappointed in their performance. They weren't really happy with the consistency across the whole 4 quarters, and they would sort of like to think that they can get the job done a little bit better. They felt that they were a little bit scrappy, but Charlie Manane in the centre for Elliston United was pretty good all game, and she got their incentive award, and they were also able to, just because they didn't have enough height already, Jace, they were able to welcome Ella Williams. She headed back to her old stomping ground, and she had a bit of a run in defence for Elliston United, and good on her for getting up there and having a run around. But just to add to their height, I'm sure the poor Saints girls took a look and thought, oh, right, okay. But young Georgia Stratford in goals, look, they're young, and as you know, they'll have a real crack every week, but and they're only going to get better. But yeah, she won the incentive award for Saints, and Marty Masson, as always, went out and gave it a right royal crack as well. So they can just but keep working at it. But Elliston way too good.
Yes, indeed. This week, let's get straight into this week's matches. Elliston Districts at home against Tumby Bay. Now, this will be an absolute beauty in all grades, I think, but in particular the A grade. I don't know who's going to win this one.
No, this will be quite interesting, as you've said. And like Tumby Bay will travel to there, and so they'll get to experience the Elliston hospitality. Elliston districts are actually missing Zali Newton this week, but Tash Bascom will come into the goal attack. Or if Ella Williams is available and wants to do a little trip up the coast, they may even have a look at her, playing her in there, and they'll come up against Stacey Curtis. So they'll certainly know that they've had a game. Stacey just keeps on keeping on, and certainly does a great job back there in defence for Tumby. There's no question about that. So that will be a very interesting matchup. Look, I think the Kennedy McNamara Charlie Manane matchup in centre will be the matchup of the day, and I would like to go and see that game just to see that matchup. I think it could be very, very interesting. Look, I think at home, Elliston District.
Elliston District starting favourites there. Tell you what, the next 2 games are chock full of interest as well. United Yolanda at home will take on Eyre United. Finally, one of these 2 sides will get a win.
Yeah, they will. Look, 2 young sides with a little sprinkle of experience, and the older girls that are helping those young girls. That won't mind me putting it that way, but there is a sprinkle of experience amongst these young ones. And look, as you said, one of them's going to come away with a win, and it will be good on them. Elsie Madden, Lacey Manane, or Abby Cash in goals for United Yolanda. They're certainly coming along. They're developing quite nicely. Young Georgia Stratford, as I mentioned earlier, for Saints, she's coming along week by week. Marty Masson, she gives it 100%. There's no time does she cross over that white line that she doesn't give it everything she's got. And look, I just think both teams are going to be vying so hard for their first win, and I reckon there'll be a couple of goals in it, if that. And at the end of the day, maybe United Yolanda.
So the Saints' defence was pretty good last week, so they're not without a chance here.
No, they're not. And, wouldn't it be nice if they got a draw and they got a point each?
Oh, no, they don't. No, let one of them have a win, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The other game is interesting. Ramblers and Cummins Kippini Cougars will be the second time they've gone at each other this year. Cougars got hold of them the first time around, so I think Cougars will start favourites, but we'll find out what Ramblers learnt the first time round.
Yeah, and had a chance to put a little bit more together and play together a little bit more. Look, both sides have put together brand new lineups. There's no question about that. It just so happens that Cougars have probably just got a little bit more experience. But Ella Wedd and Hannah Green in goals for Cougars, Abby Burrows and Kira Simons, nice bit of height there in defence for Ramblers. So that could be a very interesting matchup. Keely Mason back in shooter for Ramblers with BJ Moroney, I am thinking, at goalkeeper. That will be very interesting. Look, the experience in the centre court, Morgs, McDonald, Jet Green, Lily Matner, they could play any way through there against quite a young Ramblers centre court through Lily Nettle and Sid Claughton and young Ava Pedler. So I think that's where Cougars might just get on top, but there's no doubt that those three young ones from Ramblers, they'll give it a real crack. There's no question about that. But, yeah, I think Cougars at the moment.
Yeah, I think Cougars as well, and I stand corrected. I had to go back and have a look through some of the other scores. I was sure these two sides have already played this year, but they haven't.
They haven't.
Yeah,
no, they haven't played yet. It's their first meeting, and it is in Cummins, so a Cummins home game, in fact.
Yeah, and it is. You're right. It's Ramblers' home game, so I guess they'll find out what Cougars are all about. I think Cougars will win.
They will. They will.
But the draw in Great Flinders. Yeah, the draw in Great Flinders is a bit confusing for me this year.
It is very interesting, seeing as Ramblers and United Jelena, they played each other, then they had a bye, and then they played each other again.
Yes.
But it's just what you do to get it all happening.
Well, it's the 7-team draw that does you in. But it should be an interesting game. Should be an interesting round.
It should be, absolutely. Get along and have a look. And then again, if you want to see some more netball, because you haven't had enough this week, get along to Lock. We have the regional carnival at Lock on Sunday, and both Eastern Eyre and Great Flinders have come up with pretty formidable sides. So Eastern Eyre, Shiley Harris, Jordan Hooper, Lauren Symes, I am assuming will be their defensive players, Nicole Symes, Tamika Wren, Alyssa Moore, would be looking through the goals. Jordan McCullum, Saran Shippard and Kate Semlek would be working through the centre court. It's a very nice height in there for that Eastern Eyre side. Megan Leonard is coaching that, or maybe Mandy Symes. Megan's not sure whether she will or won't get there at this stage, but that's a pretty handy looking side, and probably the best that they would be able to put out on the court at this point in time. So very, very interesting to see how they go. Great Flinders have really put together quite a mixture of youth and experience. Ella Wedd, Keely Mason, fair bit of height there in the goal circle. The other teams are going to know about that. They might even run Sid Claughton through there. They did, I know, at training. Maybe Jet Green. They've got a fair bit of versatility here. Morgan McDonald, Kennedy McNamara, Zoe Phelps probably through the centre court, and those three could play in any one of those positions through there. Stacey Curtis will be through the defence line with, I'm assuming, young Elise Fatchins. So coaches there, Rihanna Foster and Fiona Darlett. So fairly versatile group that they've put together there. So it'll be interesting to see how those girls go. And just something different this year too, Jace, because there's no association matches here this year with the changing of the associations back to 4, they've decided that they're going to run a 13 Div 2 and a 15 Div 2 competition at regionals, which has made the program absolutely chock-a-block. Port Lincoln are sort of running, I suppose, the carnival on Sunday, and they have sent out, if you are looking for your programs or wanting to know what is anything that is happening, then I know those emails have been sent out to associations during the week. So plenty of netball happening on Sunday at Lock, and as usual, Lock will cater for it very, very well.
They always do, and every court will be full from early in the morning to late in the evening by the sounds of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Port Lincoln sending a full complement as well through the 13s, the 15s and their senior team, Ilka Curtis and Ilka Stone, Mickey Eates, Emily Yanzik. They've got Gemma Steele. We welcome her into our association side, which is fantastic. Auntie Little, and we've got Ellie Grant and Jess Harris. We've got Brooke Moore, Brooke George that was, and Tammy Goodsenoff running through the centre court. So a pretty handy side there. Ash Franklin is coaching that side. So, they're really looking forward to getting and having a hit out against the Eastern Eyre and the Great Flinders new look association side. So, it should be a great day.
All right. We'll find out how it all went next week. Joe, enjoy the netball Saturday and Sunday, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
We certainly will. Thanks, Jace.